walk in circles, hoping that one day we'll fit into.
Hello and welcome to Connecting Circles, where today we have the pleasure of a writer and actress, Miss Jody Potter. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I am really, really good. Thank you, Lee. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm so pleased to see you. This podcast is all about connecting circles, and this is the reason why I got in touch with Jody, because Jody and I know each other from a long way back, right?
Yeah, we go way back. So we were at school together, weren't we?
We
back
were
at school together.
Yeah, in fact, Jody won Best Actress in the leaving ceremony, I believe, and the other one that won Best Actor. Oh, I wonder what he's doing now.
What could it be?
He is interviewing the star of the new film Asmodeus. I hope I've pronounced that correctly.
You have, but it's a TV series. But yeah,
it's a TV series. Sorry, I thought it was a pilot going into a TV series. But you've already been filming episodes, or how far along are you with the project?
Yeah, we've started filming, so we're filming a teaser trailer for it, and it's going really, really well, Lee.
Well, maybe we'll have some luck later and have a brief interview with the director. I don't know what the chances of getting him on the podcast are.
I mean, I can always I'll send him a message and ask him, so I'm sure
that would be great. Well, first, let's concentrate on you. So, Jody, what got you into acting? Why were you attracted to this profession?
Gosh, I think when I was younger, I always knew that I always really liked kind of being creative, and I just loved imaginary play, and I would play for hours on my own, and I didn't really have any friends. So it kind of really helped. I liked playing on my own.
I never noticed that in the playground.
No, it was when I was much, much younger. And I used to love dressing up as a witch and just taking on all these different characters. And I'd play for hours. And I just thought, you know what? I love this. This is what makes me happy. And then I think when I met you and we were at secondary school, I really liked that we had the most amazing teacher, Mrs. Richardson, if you're out there, I just love you. You're fantastic. And yeah, she just, I think for me, she kind of kept me in the moment. And when I was acting, it just came really naturally. And I quite enjoyed being other people, and I just loved developing a character, and yeah, I've always loved it. And then went to university and got a degree in drama, and then came out of there and started working in the industry, and I've just loved it. I've had the chance to play so many amazing roles, and I don't know, like whether I'm in the theatre or if I'm in film,
That's what, we want to. Well, there's a lot of things to address there that I want to ask you about your perspective. But let's go back to a second to Mrs. Richardson, because I think she's actually responsible for both of us working in the industry. I don't know what she said to you, but to me, she made me realize that acting doesn't. Fame is a consequence of acting, but actually, if you use it right, it could be a tool for therapy. And she made me realize that I could become these different characters and therefore utilize any emotion that I had inside that I was maybe too afraid to share, too immature to share at that point in my life. What about you? I mean, what advice did she give you?
No, she never did any of that with me.
No.
No, she was just really, really supportive. And we never had that emotional kind of chat. But so I don't know. I think she what did she do for me? She let me be free and be impulsive. And when we had improvisation sessions, like I would go with something, and when you're improvising, you're in the moment and it works. And she was just like, do you know what? She pushed me in the right direction. And I was like, yeah, she was fantastic. So
well, that's great, because then you have kind of, with the acting process, you have your own motivation for wanting to do it. Like you said, you liked finding different characters and becoming different people. And then you have like that external trip, if you like, of characterization, character development. So, I mean, which part do you find more addictive? I mean, is it like an addiction for you, the characterization, and how do you go about that process? Where do you start?
Oh, well, so for example, with I took on a new character recently with Emily, and she is very much like myself. So I do think that you should, you know, yes, it's nice to have a range and it's nice to play a load of different characters. But if I see something within somebody that I'm like, oh, girl next door type, I can kind of fit into that role, or oh, she's a little bit introvert, I can do that, or she's a bit quirky, that's me, I'm fine with that. Right. So I'll kind of pick different things and then develop the character. But I mean, I try to just live and breathe it. So I don't want to try too hard, because I don't want to lose the spontaneity, the imagination. I want it to feel natural. So if I put a load of work in, and that's where university, I feel, just like kind of messes with your head a little bit, because you can follow all of these different processes. And
Stanislavski,
Stanislavski, Meisner, you know, and yes, you know, you do have to know it all, but actually, if it comes naturally to you, it should be quite a basic thing, because you are just becoming that other person, and you're taking on their thoughts and their feelings, and they're becoming yours. And then if you spend your time like reacting instead of acting, so responding to what the other person is giving you, and it takes all the pressure off of you, because you're just like, oh, do you know what?
I think the best
I'm not going to act like that's the first time I've ever heard you say that. That is the first time I've ever heard you say that. And that's great, because that's what it is. And I don't know, I love acting. I watch some things and I'm just like, some people, you can see when they're in the moment, and when they're really feeling it, you can see it. And when they're not in the moment and they're trying to reach that moment by using some kind of emotional recall or method, I don't feel it, and I can see it straight away, and I just think,
well, that's interesting, because the old age argument between Stanislavski and Meyerhold is that Stanislavski believes that you should feel it, and then naturally your body will react, whereas Meyerhold would be more body language. So if we put a hand on our face, everyone in a theatre full of people can associate that as a we're sad. So it's kind of, Stanislavski has got emotional recall, so you don't relate to that. To any of have you studied Stanislavski?
Not really. I think you should feel it in the moment. And
I completely agree.
Respond to what is happening in that scene. It might work for others. Well, I know it does work for others, but for me, it doesn't work. Thinking about something horrific that happened to me when I was a child, not that anything did horrific happen to me when I was a child, but if I did start to think like that, then
that's interesting. So are you able to leave that character? So how long have you been filming the series at the moment?
So we've been filming since the first shoot was the 28th of September. So yeah.
So how long is the characterization process before you start the filming for you?
Oh, for me, where I wrote Asmodeus as well, Emily has been somebody that I have worked on since 2019. So it's been a really, really long process. everything from the way that she holds herself, the way that she'll kind of nervously look at her fingers, the way that she interacts with different characters. So how she'll act around Pete, who's the love interest, compared to how she acts around Madeline, who's like the head honcho of the organization. So yeah, and it's been really lovely kind of exploring those different parts of her. But where I guess I've created her as well, there is a lot of me in there. Like there's a lot of my own personality is in there as well. And yeah, that kind of comes through. But
are you able to switch off from that character once
absolutely,
cut?
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're more of sort of you believe that acting is acting. It's like the sort of the Laurence Olivier story of Dustin Hoffman. I'm sure you've heard of you about the.
I think
for those of you that haven't heard, I think it was Marathon Man where they both had to look out of breath. And I believe that Dustin Hoffman had ran around the set about 10 times, so he was sweating and out of breath. And Laurence Olivier was sat there reading his newspaper and drinking his cup of tea. And they said action, and then they both did this amazing scene. They're both fantastic actors, as you all know. And after the scene cut, Hoffman turned to Olivier and he says, "How did you do that?" And Olivier turns around and says, "It's called acting, darling. You should try it." So you're more.
I think no. I don't overanalyze it too much. I just want it to look effortless. If it looks effortless and like somebody isn't trying, then that's good acting.
Oh yeah, totally. It's natural.
It's like just be in the moment. I don't know. Hear it for the first time. Be in the moment. Concentrate on what's happening, and make it look effortless. And the only way to make it look effortless is to not think too much. Get out of your head and don't think about it. Just do it. Do it and do it well. And then the director,
I think that's some great advice for the
director will probably
listeners.
turn around and say, "Do you know what? Do it again and do it better." And you're like, "All right, great. Yeah, I'll try it again and do it better."
And Jody, how do you? I mean, the acting industry is quite a tough industry. It's very competitive, and sometimes you're rejected for who you are or how you look. How do you deal with that? I mean, have you got a thick skin?
Yeah, I don't take myself too seriously at all. It's fine. If I'm not right for it, then I'm not right for it. You know, only you probably have. Nobody can do what I can do. Nobody can do what you can do. I can't be you. You can't be me. You know, I could pretend to be you. I could probably do a good job of it because I've been acting for a long time.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. If you'd like to see Jody pretend to be me, please write in the comments.
Yeah. Do that. I'll do
we'll
that.
put it up on a reel.
That's for episode 2. But you've not.
You can put up with it. You can deal with constructive criticism.
No problem at all. No problem. If I'm not right for something, then I'm not right for it, and that's fine. That's no issue. And I've been on the other side of it now because I now cast people. And do you know what? A lot of the time, it's for the silliest reason. It's just that, you know what? Oh, he's too tall, or he has, or he's too small, or you're just looking for a certain type of person. They've just got to fit the bill. And if I don't fit the bill, that's fine by me. It's okay. I'll pick up other work elsewhere. So it's fine.
That's a really good attitude. Well, before we bring in the fantastic Alex Hudd, is that right? How have you found that transition from acting to writing? Which do you enjoy more?
Oh, ouch! I knew you were going to ask me that.
Would you prefer to do everything that you write? Would you prefer to do it yourself? I know Ricky Gervais said with The Office, he said that he wouldn't have let the BBC commission it unless he appeared as David Brent.
Well, I have cast myself as the lead in this, so I think that probably tells you something. I want to write it. I want to act.
Sing the theme tune.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Actually,
So you can't choose, or
at the moment, I would I would say writing, but that's because this is my absolute baby. Apart from my actual babies, this is my baby. I have spent nearly 3 years working on this non-stop, and I just live and breathe it. I live and breathe it. I want it to do really well.
You can see
it means
the passion
so much
coming through the screen. You are building this TV series up. And have you got a release date? And I'm going to bring Alex in now, the director, and we're gonna find out a little bit about the plot and how the whole process is going.
Yeah, we're not on release date. We still haven't finished filming the first bit of the trailer. So hopefully you'll have us back on here lots and lots, and we can keep you updated on what goes on, you know.
I mean, the passion that you are speaking about, that's infectious, and it makes me curious as to what is this series about. So let's find out. Let's bring in Alex Hudd. I'm going to maybe you want to notify him just in case he arrives live and he's shaving or something.
I should probably just send him a message, shouldn't I?
And while Jody is notifying Alex, just to let you know that you can follow Jody on social media and YouTube, Jody Potter. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. I hardly use it. I'd prefer if you followed me on Instagram. I'm sorry.
What about
really,
YouTube?
really like a real twattish thing to say. Sorry.
Is this since Elon Musk has taken over, or?
No. It's just that I don't use it. I probably need to use it a little bit more.
Do you know why? Jody. It's because you're only allowed a certain amount of characters on Twitter, and in Jody's mind, she could write 1,000.
I just keep on going and going and going and going. It's Jody Potter actor. You can follow, and then as well, what would really make my daily is we have. Oh, here's Alex. We have just done a page today. So if people could follow Asmodeus, it's quite tricky. So I'm going to spell it out for you. It's Asmodeus. Hello, Alex.
Hello, Alex. Welcome.
Jody. Hi, Lee.
Nice to meet you. You've just arrived while Jody's doing a bit of publicity for the TV show.
Okay, carry on, Jody.
I was just spelling out Asmodeus just because I thought people might not be able to spell it. So it's ASMODEUS_series SERIES. And if you follow us on Instagram, I would be forever grateful. So thank you very much.
We are delighted to have Alex Hudd, the director, I believe, of Asmodeus, which is quite difficult for me to say. When she told me what the name was, I said Asmodeus, and she goes, "No, you're murdering the title." But you also told me about that it was based on a demon. Am I right? So
no,
it's not.
Yeah, so the name Asmodeus is actually a demon who guards the gambling houses of hell.
Okay.
But Asmodeus itself is very much a story about a shy, introverted woman who follows her ex-boyfriend, and she joins a very dangerous cult. And she does this to kind of get recognition. And we follow her journey. She grows as a person. But when she's actually in this cult, all of a sudden she's exposed to this very gritty underworld, and it's mixed with a lot of wealth. And then
sounds fascinating.
Sorry,
I mean, she sold me with the passion before you came, Alex, but I'd like to get to know the director of the series a little bit. So how did you get on board with this? Is this the sort of genre that you're used to working in?
Well, no, actually, it's just quite a sort of serendipitous story, really. I was involved in a commercial from a kind of production point of view, and I was looking for someone who could sing in a commercial, act and sing. So I approached Jody I hadn't sort of spoken to Jody really for years, probably since 2011. And because we worked on a project together way back then, and I don't know, we just sort of followed each other on Instagram ever since, so we sort of kept up with what we were doing anyway. So she said, well, I'd love to do it, but I can't sing. But I actually needed a singer, because we wanted them to sing on set anyway. So, but we just had a bit of back and forth on, I think it was on Instagram Messenger, and I mentioned about something that I was writing, and I said, "Oh yeah, I kind of imagined you as this character called Meg in the thing." In the TV series, and she said, "Oh yeah, I've been writing something as well. Would you like to have a read of it?" So I said, "Yeah, it sounds yeah, why not?" And to be honest, as soon as I started reading it, and I thought, yeah, this is really good. I kind of read it quite quickly, which is always a good sign, isn't it? You don't put
definitely.
I got a message back from you the next day. I think it was the next day I got a message back from you, and I was like,
I mean, that's like winning the lottery, because you want to work with that person, but then if also the script is good, then it's let's
I'll stop. I'm not sure that Jodie knew that she wanted to work with me at the time, to be honest. But, she said she was looking for a producer and someone to direct it. So I think we had a bit more back and forth, and we had a meeting. We just had lunch together and just had a little bit more of a chat. And my father says to me, do something that scares you every day. I'd done a little bit of directing on really small scale commercial stuff in the past, and my own film, which still remains under wraps. And so I
welcome you back to promote that as well, by the way.
Yeah, right. I thought, well, I'll do it. What do you think? And so she said, yeah. So amazingly enough, and so I suddenly thought, oh goodness me, there's I've got to do a good job here, because it's a really good script, and it deserves a top quality job doing it. So so it kind of went on from there, really, and we just chatted a little bit more, and then eventually, it's not that long, actually, to be honest. I mean, we were just saying today, actually, it's been a really short scale of time.
Well, that's a good sign as well.
So that was
back in April. So
yeah, was it April? I thought it was May. Was it April?
Actually, when we had lunch was May, wasn't it? Yeah. And now look, we're already waiting to do day 4 of our shoot. So
let's get down to the nitty gritty. A little bit more. I'd like to know a little bit more about the story, and in terms of how did you guys as a team come together with casting? I mean, once you read the script, did you, Alex, make any changes? Did you have a different perspective for certain characters? And how did you go about the casting process?
Yeah, well, from my point of view, I think there was. So when I read the script, I thought it was the dialogue was really snappy, and I totally imagined it. But I think I always thought that there was just a little bit more description to put in and stuff. And Jody agreed with that anyway. I mean, to be honest, you want to start with some good dialogue, and then you can fill in the gaps afterwards. So that was always on the cards. From a kind of casting point of view, I mean, this is a lot of the casting has been down to Jody.
So
she's been head
I knew a load of actors anyway. And so it's really nice for me, and it's actually really easy, because I wanted to work with local people, and I wanted to work with good local people, and luckily enough, I've spent the last 10 years working with good local people, so I was able to.
That's what it's about, connecting circles.
Yeah, exactly. And as I was writing it, I was kind of thinking, oh, you'd probably be right for this, and you might be right for that. And so yeah, I had a strong idea of who I wanted to play certain characters anyway, like Madeline, who is played by Gemma Hollow-Dean, who both me and Alex know. I think we can both agree that woman is just Madeline. She is completely fierce. She's really powerful, and she just owns the stage. And I think when I was writing it at one point, because I wrote it and I fell in love with Madeline so much, I was like, oh gosh, I want to be Madeline. I want to be Madeline. But like I went back to earlier when we were talking about the acting, I am not as strong and as fierce as she is. And so I was much more suited to playing Emily, the slightly softer
Really?
character. Absolutely, yeah.
You changed.
Yeah,
Wow.
sorry?
So you changed. So originally you had the idea that you were going to play I take it Madeline's protagonist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you
yeah.
decided when you met this other actress that you were better placed for Emily.
Yeah, I'd worked with her before, so I knew that she was just like, oh, she's smoking, isn't she, Alex? She's absolutely like to die. She's beautiful, and she's just really, really strong.
Yeah, I must say, I've known Gemma a long time, and I've always felt that she, you know, she needed a good opportunity. And you know, I'm not being big-headed about this, but I thought after reading the script, you know, here's her opportunity. And obviously then the pressure was on me to make sure that we kind of shot it properly and choreographed it correctly and everything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she's really pulled it off. I've seen her lots of times in this, and I'm still struck by her presence.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, she's one of those sort of, I suppose her characters